Hey, John and Mike, brew-dudes.com, and we have beer in front of us, and we're tasting beer because that's what we do. We're home brewers, and part of it is like, reaping the rewards of the hobby. Today, we have a beer that Mike brewed, and I did look at your notebook.
Oh boy.
So this is a beer made with your own homegrown
hops.
So this is, what kind of pale ale is this?
It's just a basic pale. This is 10 pounds Maris Otter, 12 pounds of medium English Crystal, because that's what I had on hand to pull this off. I love the color so far.
Yeah, it's good.
And I did my normal water treatment. This beer in particular has got 10 grams of gypsum in it, but that's 10 grams per 12 gallons, so don't get led astray. I'll do a better job in the future of writing down parts per million of calcium and stuff for people.
Nice.
Anyway, yeah, so mash temp 154. This was a relatively uneventful brew process. Everything went great. The yeast on this baby is USO 5, so I was just sort of going for a middle down the road. This is the last beer of the 5-10 pound beers from the sack thing. Interestingly, this beer had a finishing gravity of like 1.002. So it is really dry.
It is dry.
But we'll probably uncover why it's dry in a moment when you start saying what you think it tastes like.
Because there's some strong phenols coming off of that.
Yes.
And I don't know why that is.
Yeah.
Because the yeast strain you told us is supposed to be a clean one, a neutral strain, and but it is quite dry in the finish and thin in the body, so that
yeah, I put the body at like something like super thin, but it's
I would say light on the medium side. Yeah,
it's thin medium maybe, right?
Yeah.
But if you take a big sip, sit there for a minute and swallow it, there's a pretty good amount of like a phenol quality there. There's a little bit of yeast bite too.
Yeah.
So to be fair,
okay,
this beer has been, I brewed this right at the end of February, March, right at the end of March, right before, and it just came out of the fermenter today. This one's been sitting in there for a while. So it doesn't feel slick.
No.
It doesn't taste, it's pretty clean, except for that phenol character. So I'm wondering if it's a combination of, there's a little bit of like yeast degradation, yeast bite to it, and then, but the hop profile, it's not very bitter.
No.
It's not very aromatic.
Nope.
Although the very first sample I pulled out of the thing had this amazing, like, almost tropical fruit-like aromatic to it, but that's gone now in the keg, so now it's carbonated. So, I don't know. The good news is...
kind of clovey, kind of, bubble gumish.
Yeah. You think it's bubble gumish? I mean, I don't really get an
dairy
estery quality to it. It's just there's a little bit of a, I guess it's sort of a piney, resiny thing from the hop character, but it's mostly, clove phenol. Clove is a phenol, so
Yep.
That's what it is.
Yeah, so there you go.
I'm just glad to get it out of the fermenter so I can open up that fermenter.
Clean it out.
And so the other, just something to talk about with this beer is that I carbonated this beer about an hour ago. So my process for this was I racked it into I cleaned and sanitized a keg 2 hours ago.
Nice.
I put it, I put it in there, and then I put it in my mash tun with like 15 pounds of ice and some water, and I let it cool down for an hour, get as cold as I could get it. Then I hooked it up to my CO2 tank, and I set the CO2 to 35 psi, and I shook that thing for 2 minutes. I used a timer. I shook for 2 minutes, and then I took a break for 15, and then I shook for 2 more minutes, took a break for 15, shook for 2 more minutes. So I did 3 rounds of that, and aside from a pretty hard pour, because I didn't try to reset it, the carbonation level isn't awful. It could be a little bit more, but it was kind of a hard pour. So.
And then you got a head that is persistent.
Which makes me think that usually if I picked up like a wild yeast or something, or a wild bacteria that's sort of giving that off flavor, you wouldn't be able to have that foam retention, right? No. It would be super foamy. Granted, it hasn't really sat with the carbonation, but but the foam withstands. So I don't think it's. I just think it's probably a combination of some dead yeast and these homegrown hops aren't very good.
So let's talk about the hops. Like,
Yeah.
how much hops did you put in, and like, what was the hop schedule in your brewing process?
Oh yeah. So the cool thing about this one, if I remember right, where did I write it down here? So I put in a full Ziploc bag, like a gallon Ziploc bag of whole flower hops, which weighs out to about 4 ounces total. The 4 ounces all went in at 20 minutes left in the boil.
Okay, that's it.
That's it.
Okay.
So I was just going for what's the flavor aroma quality going to be of the hops.
And like, so do you know the variety, or is this the what?
It's a blend because the plants were a mess. They were all entwined. So I had the boys out there helping me pick them. So we picked them. I just wasn't going to try to separate the plants out. So we picked them. It's Nugget and Columbus.
Okay. So and a blend of
a blend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. So all right. So Nugget. Columbus.
Percentages? Who
knows? Yeah. So you're gonna get some piney notes, I think, from Nuggets.
This year, the hop harvest will go even worse than last year's.
Awesome. So something to look forward to.
Yep.
Great. Anyway, so what's your takeaways? I know beyond like it's sitting in the fermenter for you think too long?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I know that I knew months ago. I was like, well, I guess I should get to that. But
what's your takeaway on just using homegrown hops? Because was this the first time you did that, or is this?
Yeah, this is the first time I've used my hops.
Yep.
These were second-year hops. So no, these actually third year. So I don't know. They're okay. I'm going to try it again when I get a new batch and see what happens. I think. Maybe if I baby them a little bit more. They're kind of getting crowded in the box, the bed that they're in out there.
Yep.
And my plan this year was to split them and to make more plants. Maybe they would do better when I do that because I would recompost and stuff like that and give them a lot more nutrients. But aside from that, I haven't fertilized them or done anything special to them. So I don't know. I'm growing them more because I'm a home brewer and they're ornamental and,
it's fun,
and they're there and it's fun to be like, hey, those are hops.
Yep.
But I wasn't really expecting to get a whole lot out of them, and I didn't. So,
so your expectations were met.
Yeah,
nice. Good.
I still got plenty of them. I'll probably try this one more time, or maybe I'll scale down to like a 1 or 2 gallon batch, and just do an aroma thing just to check one more time what I think of them.
Yeah. Well, my whole feeling like brewing with my homegrown hops is I had more success putting in like maybe it's almost like. Since we don't really know what the alpha acids are of ours, without like a lab test or something, I always felt like if a recipe called for like an ounce of pellet hops for my homegrown one, I always like do like a 4-to-1 on that.
Yep.
And like in styles where a bittering charge is all you need, that's what I would use them in.
Yep.
I remember making like, I don't know, I think there was like a black lager I did, had like 6 ounces and just threw them in at the beginning of the boil, 60-minute boil, and remember actually getting in competition, getting a first or second place on that. So I think that they work better, and I know that conventional wisdom says well, don't use them for bittering charges, but I think that you kind of get a feel for it as time goes on. Just don't do what I did, which is throw in pounds of homegrown hops, because it's either you do that, you're throwing them out, and so it's maybe we'll just taste it and have fun. So all right, well, there you go, homegrown hops. You win some, you lose some, you meh some.
The important thing about this beer is it was part of a larger process to calibrate, and what this was literally, I was like, well, what am I going to do for the 5th beer?
I got these hops.
I guess I got this extra crystal malt.
Yeah,
and
why not?
Hey, the success is actually the color. This is probably to me,
spot on where you want to be with that.
If I'm going to drink this is ideal beer color for me. When I think beer, every man's beer that I want to drink, it's this color.
All right, well, there you go. It's not lighter than this.
Yep.
It's not darker than this. It's
12 ounces
just
of medium
right.
crystal.
Nice.
Yep.
All right. Thanks for watching this video. We appreciate your time. If you like what you're seeing, subscribe to our channel. Give us the old thumbs up on this video if you've had home brews where you feel like, meh, it's all right. Because we do this every week, and you know, sometimes we have great successes and sometimes we have utter failures. And this one was just in the middle. For John and Mike, brew-dudes.com, brew on.
Cheers.